Patrick.
Hello.
Zozo. How do
You
you
say,
say?
oh, it's Patrick Om Sozo.
I should have asked you.
It's like the meditation word Om. That's where it comes from. It's a combination. You know, it's a name. You know, I have an interesting last name, and you know, that I was given by birth. But you know, I wanted something that inspires what I'm going for. And Om Sozo means peace and healing and restoration and wholeness and all that. So that's kind of why I do that. So
I like that. It's good. I like it. And okay, we'll get some viewers.
you just call me Patrick. Patrick will work just fine.
Patrick is what is fine.
I said Patrick. Just call me Patrick. It's fine. So
Okay. All right. So what kind of have you got cards there? Have you got pendulum?
yeah, I got some cards. I've got a couple different pendulums I use. So I use some cards from Ireland.
Oh, nice.
And I'll do some polls later on and stuff. But you know, we're doing right $35 minis, right?
Yeah. Well,
And
we say they're minis, but they seem to go for a bit longer.
yeah, they'll go as long. I've never wanted to cut something short. I mean, that cards are a touchstone, right? So just like the cards, so is the pendulum. Pendulum is a touchstone. We can do yes or no answers. You know, if you're looking for some insight to something that maybe you're stuck, you know, the pendulum is a good way to go. Yes or no. The cards are a good way. What we're going to do is a 3-card pull. You know, past, present, future. Another thing I do is Shefa. I'm a Shefa master. That Shefa is an Arabic word that means healing and recovery. Yeah. And so that involves using Hebrew symbols, which are words, you know, like a shin and memhe shin and shalom. Shalom is a pregnant word. It means so much. It's more than just like peace, right? Yeah. Shalom is healing and wholeness, restoration. And so when someone says shalom to you, they are blessing you from the bottom of your feet to the top of your head, even if they don't know that, because it's such a pregnant word, right?
Yeah. How do you say that word?
Shalom.
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 So if you say shalom to someone, you're blessing them from head to toe.
Yes, inside and out. Yeah.
I remember that. That. But
and a lot of, go ahead.
So I was going to say hello to everyone watching. We've got Samadhi and Tony Love and Tim Corman. Thank you for watching.
Hi, Tim. Hi, Samadhi. Hi, Tony. So
there's Tony's comment. I was going to click on Tim. There's Tim.
Yeah, I can see him. I got it up on the live comments. I guess.
Good to see it. Yeah, cool.
Yeah. But yeah, so it's exciting what's going to happen right now, because anything can happen right now. So, yeah. I'm really excited for what you guys are doing with the website. And
it's exciting.
This is about helping people and giving them a format, someplace to go. You know, it's not just about earning money or whatever. You know, this is all energy exchange. You can think of all the readings, be it card or perhaps it's Shefa. Shefa, like when I say Shefa healing, that means we're gonna take a moment, a breath, and we're gonna lean in and go in spiritually with these symbols over you, right, and in you, and let them germinate. And it's kind of like a fermentation that happens, and then energy starts happening, the fire of God, and so if that was the modality, right, that you needed, then that will happen. If it's not, then the fruit of that will probably just be nothing. But if the fruit is the fire, some type of energetic experience, then you know that we're on the right track, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it makes sense.
And emotionally speaking too, if you're excited, you know, a lot of people, like I said, kind of get hung up on money, you know, because the money's tight. You know, a lot of people are tight. Yeah. But if you look at it as a donation towards your soul, you know, you're donating to yourself. It's an energetic exchange, you know, and you're opening up. When you do that, you're acting in faith, right? Just like you're at a church and you give an offering and stuff, you're not determining where any of that goes. So I consider everything I do free. You know what I'm saying? I don't charge for it, but I do receive donations that go to my life, you know, that help my life. And then I always let that go through to other people too. So we keep the ball rolling. And so faith is the substance of things hoped for, right? It's the stuff you're hoping for. It's the healing. It's the restoration. Maybe you have anxiety or stuff like that about the future, or about where you're at, or maybe you need a physical healing, and that substance is the vision and sight of seeing yourself whole again. And so when you turn that key by releasing whatever energy, maybe you're just going to do something like in a lot of First Nations or Aborigine, right? Traditions. You'll go and chop some wood for the medicine man or the shaman, right? Maybe you'll clean up their house, or you'll do their yard work. There's an energy exchange, you know, and that's it's a holy thing. It's not something to be trivialized, you know, to give a pack of smokes to someone that needs, you know, oh, cigarettes. Well, you know, hey, I consider that smudging on the inside, if you want to think about that, you know, because tobacco is a very strong smudge, you know. You know, if you have an issue with smoking, then don't smoke, because, you know, you're going to end up, you know, because the vibrations, it all comes back to vibrations. The smallest particle they've ever been able to see scientifically is a waveform. So when you're speaking faith, when you're saying, and you make the conscious choice to walk towards your recovery, or maybe towards the information that you need to make a decision, or maybe you want to know something about your love, you know, like a lot of people look to psychics and cards and such like that for insight on relationships, you know, and they do that, and they just want a free reading. Well, you're going to get what you get, because the vibration you're putting out there is, I want something for nothing. Right. And that's, I'm not picking on you. I want something for nothing too. I love getting free stuff, but I also recognize when I get blessed, that that's now an opportunity for me to pay it forward to someone else. Maybe that person who blessed me, or that time that I was blessed by whatever happened that blessed me, now I have that to give away, you know. You know, so I'm hoping that maybe someone that comes on today will just need some insight. Maybe they need some energy work. We can work on the Shefa. We could do some of that. We could do a pendulum. You know, it's just, what do you need, you know, and where are you at consciously within that needs? In other words, is the pain in your life separating you and isolating you, or is the pain in your life motivating you? And if it's motivating you, then you need to act on that. And that's just like a domino effect. One gives to the other, gives to the other, you know. It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah. And Samadhi agrees with you, and she said, nice to meet you, Patrick.
Nice to meet you too, Samadhi. I like your name. That's beautiful.
She's one of our psychics. And Wendy said, nice to meet you, and she says hello to me.
Hi, Wendy.
Says nice to meet you. She's a regular viewer. And she's a friend of mine. She says hello.
Hello.
And I'll just tell you, Tim Coleman is a psychic, is going to be on our show soon.
All right.
And we know Tony Love, the global healer. She's healed me twice, and I haven't had to go to hospital 2 times because of Tony Love, who I've just put up. And that's all the comments I have at the moment. But anyone else would like to say hello? Oh, there's Teresa.
Hi, Teresa.
And she's one of our regular viewers. So hello to everyone for watching. Thank you. And
hello. Yeah, thanks for stopping in. You know, time is that pearl of great price, right?
Yeah.
I defer to the Bible a lot on some, not everything, but stuff, because I spent a lot of time really delving into that for a long time, you know, and I came kind of through the whole filter of Western Christianity. Yeah. And that's a beautiful thing. That's great for those who are still in it. I had a paradigm shift in the desert myself, literally here in Arizona back in 2009. Yeah. And, you know, I can't go back. And the things I've experienced through the glory of God and the power of God, as far as healing and those kind of things, you know, one doesn't necessarily quantify the other. And that's the problem with a lot of expressions of faith. They think, I've got a miracle, therefore what I'm teaching must be right.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
One really, no, that's really just the love of God doing what God does out of love, because God is love.
God works through his people.
What's that?
God works through his workers.
Yeah, you know, and it doesn't necessarily mean that everything that you believe and say is correct. You understand? Because that's an ego thing. You know, we all want to be right. I want you to believe like I believe. I don't want you to believe like I believe. That's none of my business. It used to be my business, right? I was an evangelist, and you know, but I seen some real beautiful stuff. You know, a lady came in. We had a healing rooms for a number of years, and it was in a strip mall, and right next to a private bar and a tanning salon. And we had a lady come in who had corrective shoes, and she had about, you know, 3-4 inch heel on her right side. Yeah. And so she sat down in our hot chair, you know, and this is about faith. I'm not talking about Christianity here in a sense, but it is about Jesus. What he did was so thorough that you know, it's an effective tool. So she sat down, and I was at her feet on my knees, and because going after back miracles tends to be a fairly simple thing when you're talking about adjustments, you know, but we're talking about 3-4 inches. And I'll be honest to you, with you, I didn't necessarily have the faith for 4 inches. I mean, I'm like, oh my goodness, but I'm not showing that on the external, but inside I'm freaking out. And so but I could feel the presence of God in that room. And that was stimulated me to go ahead and move forward, if that makes any sense, right? So that motivated me. I knew, okay, I feel energy, I feel love, so I'm just gonna do what I always do. And I lifted her legs, and you know, I'll get back here. So right leg shorter, comes up, the leg shoots about an inch past the short leg, took my breath away, shocked everybody in the room. And the lady didn't even know what happened. She didn't even feel it or anything. It was crazy. And she looked at the look on my face, and I'm like, oh, it's all good. I lowered her feet down. I'm thinking inside, okay, God, she doesn't have a corrective shoe for her left side. Yeah, what are we going to do here? And, you know, this is all happening in seconds, you know, but to me, it's now slowed down to minutes. And so I'm like, okay, I lifted her feet back up, and her left side popped out the inch. She left an inch taller carrying those shoes. And that was, you know, that was fun. That was a lot of fun. And that changed that lady's life forever. And that's not something I could have made happen. I couldn't sit there and stick my foot on her left side and pull on her right leg, right, until it popped out 3 inches.
It's so powerful that you did that.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. I don't know what happened, if there was bone that was added, or if there was an adjust. She didn't, like I said, didn't feel anything, but God, like, I believe added bone there or something. I don't know. Yeah. But that's just a small example of stepping out in faith, you know, and showing up, like me showing up today, you showing up today. And we're together here now in a divine appointment. Everybody that's in, Tim, like, I have felt the divine love twice, and it's very interesting, intense. Yes, I love that. It's like pure oxygen, you know, the joy that you experience from the presence of someone who accepts you completely, right?
And you know how else you feel the presence of God?
Come on.
Through rock and roll.
Oh yeah, you can feel it through music, period. Rock and roll, believe it or not, yes, I agree. Rock and roll is very powerful. There's both sides to that coin, and all expressions, all the way to classical, country, all those different expressions. There's a white and a you know, I can't say white. We'll say dark and light, you know, and there's such thing as a dark light. Yes. And so people who are walking on that side of the fence think, well, I have light. This is light. And yes, it is, but it's a dark light. And it's not you know, not that Christ light. You know, the Christ light will accept you too. You know, anyway, I'm getting off on a tangent. But yes, music, rock and roll has that. it can be very inspirational. You know, Pink Floyd, I love some of the Floyd, some of the Doors stuff is very deep. You know, even coming forward, there's some stuff. I'm trying that Matt, I can't remember his name. He's a young brother, man. He's got some powerful music, very makes you think, right? And stirs your heart, you know, and you have to go off the fruit. Speaking of that, you know, because a lot of people would be quick to judge and say, no, there's rock and roll. Guys, that's the devil. No, it ain't. It's an artistic expression that can be bent towards the light or bent towards the dark.
Well, there's satanic music and there's God's music.
Yes, exactly.
And your soul, whatever you listen to will alter your life. If you listen to satanic music, you will go down a dark path. If you listen to normal God's music, it will take your soul to the light.
That's right.
That's how powerful music is. Their messages from angel songs are.
Yes, and you know, you get those times when a song pops into your head.
Yeah.
Right.
Do I get those times?
Yeah, I mean, and I'm sure everybody does. And I want you to know that, like you said, that's the angels, or perhaps that's one of your guides, or maybe an ancestor communicating with you, like a brother or a former family member. Well, not former, they're still your family member, but being aware of those things can cause a divine love experience too. Man, I've been overwhelmed when I've been visited by loved ones, probably my dad, you know, and just all of a sudden realize that I'm not alone, that someone else is right there that loves me. Because in all spiritual expressions, you have to go by the fruit. That's the only way you're really going to ever know what is dark and what is light, you know, because fruit does not lie, you know. And if you have love and there is peace and you're feeling wholeness and well-being, that is good fruit. And now if you're experiencing something supernatural and there's chaos and stuff's falling apart and things are negative, then, you know, you got to look at that fruit and go, why is that sprouting? Where's that coming from? You know, where am I receiving this from? Now, that can be a two-edged sword too, because guess what? God can use those things to get your attention. Like I said, pain can isolate or it can motivate. And if you're allowing, you know, if you're feeding yourself music or literature or expressions of faith that you're exercising vengeance and you want control and you're acting out of fear, then you got some bad fruit that is happening. I guarantee you there's some bad fruit going on. You know, there is power on the dark side and those kind of things. But guess what? It costs you, you know. I seen a warlock talk about, I did a spell for $60,000. And he was talking about this to educate people. Like, listen, I did a spell for $60,000 and I got that money. But now I can't walk on my left leg because I got in a car wreck, and that was my settlement check.
That was his karma.
You know, nothing's for free. You know, nothing is for free. I prefer to rely upon the shed blood, the power of the shed blood of Christ, not in a religious way, but in an actual affirmative way. An actual way. I mean, it's a literal thing. It's something it's an event that happened. It didn't happen to build a church or an expression of spirituality. If you want to boil all that stuff down, you got to go Hebrew then. You know what I'm saying? You've got to get, I mean, he fulfilled the law and everything that he did in that adventure and that expression of his life, that Christ consciousness. He fulfilled. So the reason why I go down that road is it's the fruit. You know, we want good fruit. I want to see people come to realization that they are loved and that they are forgiven. But forgiveness is absolutely free, but you need to be free to give it just as well as receive it. And you have to be willing to let go of resentment and disappointment and those things that just are toxic to your body in a pH kind of way. You know, when you're feeling resentment and you're angry and you harbor unforgiveness, then that just germinates in you like a bad seed, and it gets you know, all fussy and everything, right? And then it gets on everybody around you.
It causes stress.
What's that?
It causes stress on your body, on your brain.
Oh, very much. Your brain, your nervous system.
Then your brain sends signals to your body, and you get sick.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so it's learning to acknowledge and accept. Okay, guess what? You can look at something 1,000 times and say, that's not me, that's not me, that's not me, that's not me. Right? But the whole time it's you. You know, you have someone come up, man, that person really makes me mad. I can't believe they said that. Yet you said the same thing to someone else the day before. All that is a mirror of you. And you don't want to accept that. You're like, that's not me, that's not me. But everybody's telling you it's you. So maybe you should stop and ask yourself, honestly, is that me? because if all these, you know, if something keeps reoccurring in your life, be it loss of jobs, or maybe loss of friends, or maybe you're constantly in a new relationship, you know, those kind of things keep coming back around, then you need to start seeing what the symbiotic relationship of that thing that's happening in your life, and what you're bringing into your life, what you are using in your life, what are you habitually doing in your life that may be spawning and continuing this negative circle, right? It just keeps coming. And guess what? You can stop that. That's what the blood of Christ is for. That's what the act of Christ was for, was to break all karmic debt. All of it gone. You don't have to meditate yourself out of it. You don't have to do the soul work. You will eventually, but right out of the gate, when you come to a place where you say, all right, God, like you were saying earlier, just come into my heart, because, you know, I just want to change. I want to be better. You know, being born again is a real experience. It was never meant to be labeled as a Christian experience, because being born again, you can be Hindu and be born again. You can be Muslim and be born again. You know, maybe you won't stay a Muslim. I don't know, maybe you won't stay Hindu. That's none of my business. But to be born again means to accept that finished work of Christ, and then accept the forgiveness, the absolute complete forgiveness that comes to you, the acceptance of you. That prodigal son has returned, right? But he didn't return to a church. He returned to a loving being who is both male and female, an expression of you. You are that expression of love. You know, it says we are created in the image of God, and that's male and female and everything in between. Those things, I mean, that's a real thing. And a lot of people just treat that knowledge or understand. They don't really understand that. I don't really understand, and say that to anybody, to say that they completely understand what's going on, I have to question, because let me tell you, I've seen some really cool stuff and some really dark stuff, and you know, yet the game continually changes. You know, the rules change, the expression changes, and God is always changing. You know, that's not me. That's what the word says. You know, faith comes from hearing, and hearing from the word of God. Excuse me, that was mistranslated. Faith comes from a word from God. And guess what? You could be that word for me, and I could be that word for you. And then you're going to have an inspiration, and your life is going to be like a flower that opens up, and all of a sudden you're feeding hummingbirds, and you're blessing people with your beauty, be it inner or outer. Maybe you're doing music again. Maybe you're writing a book. Maybe you're a fast food worker, and you take more pride in what you're doing, and the bag is straight, and all the condiments are in there every time. Yeah, it boils down to those little things in life, you know, like you just don't know. I mean, you have an idea. Everybody has an idea. Now, if you get a flash in your mind's eye, your imagination, then lean into that a little bit, you know, see what's going on. You know, is this truth? Yes.
I'm going to interrupt you because I
Go
want to
ahead.
know what Tony is on about. She says, talk about the horns and vibrations of healing.
Oh, absolutely. All right.
What does she mean? Sorry,
All right.
finish what you were saying, and then can you answer that, please, for it?
Yeah, no, absolutely. You know, I just want to say that being born again, again, I'm not trying to evangelize here right now. I'm just trying to give a definition, you know, that goes along with faith. And so if you want a change in your life, and you've heard, be the change you want to see, though that's good advice. But also some things will change supernaturally if you humble yourself and pray, as it says in the Bible. If you humble yourself and meditate, let's translate that to something that you can administer to your own life. And you say, okay, I receive forgiveness for everything I've fell short, everything I've done wrong. I admit I have not been all that I can be. I admit that I don't do everything as well as I could do. I admit I'm not the best husband, for example, that I could be. I admit I'm not the best employee. I humble myself and I receive and I ask for forgiveness for lacking those things and for doing those things and for expecting, you know, being expecting something for nothing or whatever the situation, you know. And then you say, I receive that forgiveness now. And you can say Jesus' name if you want. That's Jesus' name is a powerful tool again, but it's not necessary. It's just something that helps express yourself. Now, to come back to the healing, the vibrations. Okay, so science determined that the smallest thing that they can see is a waveform. So that's a vibration. That's a sound. That's light. Light is vibration. Light is vibration so fast that you can see it. So I have some tools that come out of the Hebrew culture. And of course, they're used in all kinds of different cultures around the world. This one's a ram's horn, and it can be used in a lot of different ways. And I'm going to blow this in a little bit, so you might want to get some headphones because it'll be a lot more effective because you get it into your being. And then behind me here, it's called a Grand Yemenite, and I've had people healed and delivered both in person and online by the sound that comes out of this instrument. This is a powerful healing tool. And so when you hear that vibration, it's like a memory is activated in your spirit, right? See, we're three parts as far as I'm concerned: your spirit, soul, and body. Soul could be translated and mingled with mind, spirit, mind, and body. Your spirit is in higher places. You know, a lot of people have experimented, right? And that's the thing. It's kind of have fun with your spirituality, or by thinking and feeling who you are and feeling what you should do. A lot of expressions of spirituality don't want you to trust your feelings. Well, God had a lot of feelings, I believe. There was joy, there was anger, there was all kinds of stuff. And if we're in God's image, then you're both Shekinah, the Shekinah, the feminine side, and the masculine Shin, right? The three flames of God. So this blows the fire, stoking a fire. We're going to stoke the fire. So why don't you let me know when everybody's ready, and we're going to give it a blow. All right?
I'm ready. I've never seen this done before. I'll be watching.
All right, so we just need to put some headphones on. And then I'm gonna let some blasts go, and it's really just be receiving. Breathe in. In fact, the words I use for my title, Patrick Om Sozo, you could breathe in and breathe out. So take a deep breath and just all right. And just be in a place that you're relaxed and receiving. And let's do this. So as you can tell there's a number of different tones. I don't necessarily control all the factors, but yeah, I blow it from my heart. You know, in the Hebrew culture, the heart is here, you know, right in your solar plexus. You'll notice when I move and the Shem and the fire of God is moving, I can feel it here, is kind of a confirmation to say, yeah, you're moving in the right way. So if anybody wants to talk about any experience you may have just had, the sensations, maybe inspirations. Nice. Thank you, Kat. I'm glad you felt so. You know, life is just, it's happening now, right? At any given moment, it's now. It's now for you. It's now for me. And right now, there's something special happening, and I hope you're receiving it. So one of the things I was talking to Kat earlier about is that a person is only as strong as the weakest thought that they have about themselves. And what do you think about yourself? I mean, you're looking, perhaps you're single and you're looking to attract someone, and you have an idea of who that person is, but would they be attracted to you? I mean, do you hate yourself? I mean, do you present yourself in such a way that shows your best, or do you present yourself in a way that says, I need something now, you know? I mean, you need to start looking at the little things in life, right? Those little expressions of yourself. And hey, Kat.
The way you said that's so funny. Like, do you want something now?
You're right.
There is a difference how you present.
Need a little something now, or are you willing to display yourself in a way that says, I'm in it for the whole game? You know.
And words are very powerful. What you use with people too. They shape your personality and who you present yourself as. Words do.
That's right. Are you being polite with someone? You know, with people. You know, are you being short with people all the time? I have a boss, bless his heart, but he has a hard time with people. So he tends to be very short. Hey, what do you want? You know, kind of, he's not, hey, how you doing? You know, how may I help you? There's two different ways to ask the same question right there, right? Yeah. Hey, what do you want? Or, hey, how are you? How may I help you? And that could change someone's day in a moment. What you say, you could change someone's day. You could go out right now and bring all kinds of healing and just say, hey, I love Australia. How you doing, mate? You know,
Good, mate.
how you doing, mate?
And Priscilla said,
what's that?
Priscilla said she felt radiation from her neck. It radiated into my fine nerve and into all parts of her body when you did the horn.
That's good.
What do you call that instrument?
It's called a shofar, but this
Okay.
one specifically is called a grand Yemenite.
Okay.
And it's off an animal called a nunu out of Africa. And they actually even have bigger horns. This one's pretty big, but that's, I just bless what's happening in Priscilla, and we just ask for more. We ask for more. We're going to grab on to what's happening there, and we're just going to bless it and ask that whatever she needs in those nerves and throughout her body continue to vibrate a healing tone. Yes. You know, you got to think of yourself as like a glass of water, you know, and a glass of water, when it starts vibrating, will remain vibrating for a while, even after what caused the vibration has stopped. All right. Yes. And, you know, coming back to, you know, a person is only as strong as the weakest thought that they have about themselves. And me personally, you know, one of those things is my ability to provide, for example, you know, kind of thing. Those things, as any man, I can't say it has anything to do with gender, but me specifically, you know, it's important that I provide and that I do that well. And of course, I battle with those kind of thoughts, and I have to come against those. And I say, look, I'm doing everything I can. I am not holding back. So therefore, good things are coming, right? So I change a thought of I'm doing everything I can and nothing is happening and not enough is happening, or I'm not really meeting the right person. This is not in regards to me, but perhaps someone out there is looking for that relationship, and they just keep getting these people who want them for everything but. And you have to look at that and go, okay, well, I need to change the way I'm thinking about that. My confession about that, my declaration, like Kat was saying earlier, and I agree with, words are very powerful. What kind of words are you saying about your relationships, or what kind of words are you saying about what you need in your body for healing? Perhaps you're diabetic and you just say, I will always be diabetic. You know, no, you won't. You know, I think that's a lie. You know, there's a lot of truth facts out there about medical conditions that are not true. Now, they're true if you're going to hang out in this dimension and you're going to accept those things, and absolutely they're true for you and you can have them. But I'm telling you right now, if you're diabetic, if you have MS, if you have cancer, if you have any physical condition, COVID-19, this fake virus, I mean, this virus, which is not fake, but it was manufactured, is what I should say, this manufactured virus that was inserted to people. You know, you just kill it. You kill it with your faith. You kill it with what you bring in your body. You kill it with what you're speaking. You know, are you feeding your disease? Are you making it weaker? You know, spend some time loving yourself. Tell yourself, I love you. You know, I started down this road a little bit earlier about people experimenting with spiritual things. So here's a tool. Look in the mirror and say, you know, I'm going to do it myself. Patrick, I call your spirit forward, and I just bless you to be filled with joy, love, and peace. And that give you permission to come forward and move freely in the front as opposed to being in the back. I give you permission for love to come through for other people and other matters in my life. I bless you to be powerful, and I bless you to be good. So there you go. It's that simple. You can do that for yourself. And then, you know, see what happens. You know, everything's about the fruit. What is the fruit? Meditation. Well, I do yoga, you know, all week long, and you know, and I'm still pain. You know, Well, then maybe you should try something else. Or I do yoga all week long and I feel so much better. There's good fruit. And I'm just using yoga as an abstract example of just something you can do. Any type, karate, Christianity. Listen, some people need that. Some people really need the organization, the format, or however you want to describe that religion to ground them and to get them out of the vicious cycles that they were in. Like I said, to be born again is a complete karmic debt relief, right? That's a total payment. But those things, you still have to do some soul work in there so that they don't come back, so that you don't have to continue experiencing, because there's a lot of people that are born again, spiritually speaking, and they still suffering, myself included, from stuff that keeps reoccurring. And you have to honestly ask yourself and accept the answer, okay, this is what I'm doing, and that's causing this. This person really hurt me and caused all this bad. I can never forgive them, and I will never forgive them. And that comes out of your mouth, and you keep supporting that expression, and you keep getting, that expression. It keeps coming back, man. And it's like, no, you're gonna have to listen. For one thing, your hate towards that person isn't harming them at all. And if you do move in something to where your hate is harming them, then you got some bad stuff coming. So because nothing's for free, and ceremonies and spells and all those things, they're not free. And just because you may have did a payment on the front end, that's just a step in the door to give permission on the back end to mess with you as much as possible. Best way to stay is in prayer and the sense of, forgiving the people. Even you're not going to forgive, willingly. Come on, man. I'm not asking anybody. Come on. I've experienced people who have experienced forgiveness, who have been brutally raped and brutally abused, physical abuse, mental abuse, and see them come out of their circumstance and be whole, because they were willing to at least accept the fact that they needed to forgive, even though they didn't feel like it. And I always say, I practice to say, God, give me the feeling of forgiveness towards the person. I'll forgive. I'm going to forgive. I forgive right now every person, place, or thing that's ever harmed me or done me wrong. Every person, place, or thing. Yes, you can be harmed by a place. You can just be harmed by a thing. Right? Let's say a bug stings you, or a shark bit off your leg or something. Guess what? You're still harboring unforgiveness, and that might sound silly to some people, but it's really that detailed. You are a being having an experience here on this plane, without a doubt. And somehow you found yourself in front of me, and I'm telling you, whatever it is, let it go and be healed. Let it go and be healed. Just ask. If you say, I can't feel that for that person, then ask for the feeling for that person, and let them go, and just forget about it. Write it down on a piece of paper on a full moon and burn it. Whatever you got to do, and then ask to be filled in those lonely places, those scars, those deep wounds, with the love and light. With love and light, the love and light, right? Ask for that. Say, I receive that. I receive my healing. I say that many times a day sometimes. I receive my healing now. I use Jesus' name because I believe there's power in that, because of the vibrations. And you can say Yeshua. Yeshua is the Hebrew. Jesus is just as they're both vibrationally equivalent, okay? The Lion of the tribe of Judah, I love that. We've had experiences where the Lion has showed up and laid with us and ministered with us, purrs over you, right? Nothing like having your wounds cleaned by the Lion of the tribe of Judah, a big cat. Sounds pretty crazy, I know. So anyway, some of the stuff I do, I use the cards, I use pendulum, yes or no answers. And, you know, and if you're from a Christian background, you say, oh, divination. You know, what is opening the Bible to a specific verse? That's divination. Sorry, that's what it is. Guess what? The Hebrew high priest had a chest plate. You know, the high priest chest plate had like 12 stones representing each tribe of Israel. But on the backside of that chest plate, it's called the ephod. And there was 2 stones, a black stone and a white stone. And what did they do? They used to pull one or the other. They ask the question, they pull the stones, and then guess what? You have to do one more thing. You have to be obedient to the answer. And so, you know, they would ask yes or no. Should we go after that? Those, you know, there was one story in particular in the Old Testament, and it involved King David, and they were out. You know, they were in a serious transitional time, and he had defeated Goliath and all that stuff, but they were still warring. And another tribe that weren't Hebrew came and stole all their women and children. You know, kidnapped them. When they were out, they come back and everybody's taken. And man, you know, they're just wasted, right? I mean, they had just spent all this energy battling for their tribes, and then all their women and children were taken. And so they consulted the ephod, and they said, should we go after them? Because they just didn't know. And they said yes. And so they knew when they went after them that they would be successful in getting them all back, and that would be a successful venture. And it was. And they got the women and children back, and a beautiful thing. But just to give you an example, people have been divining since the beginning of the word and before, okay? And so it shouldn't be something you're nervous about. I'm not nervous. I was nervous about it coming out of Christianity. Now, when I say I come out of the religion. I love Jesus. Jesus is a brother. He's a friend. You know, but I don't participate in that false humility anymore. You know, false humility is an ugly thing. And that's all, it's just all over a lot of different expressions of spirituality. I am so humble. Right. Hey, listen, I do the best I can. Some things I can do, some things I can't. And I say we try, you know, nothing ventured, nothing gained is my thoughts, you know.
Do you know what? You have your wisdom is like words from Christ.
Yeah. Amen.
Yes, you have that energy in your words and your wisdom.
Well, that's good. I'm glad.
Yeah, I'm sure around the days of Jesus Christ, you must have been one of his brothers. Something.
Yeah, I was probably Peter, because I don't have the best knowledge, like a fisherman or logger, right? You know. Yeah. I'm a blue collar worker. My hands don't look like a shaman or nothing, man. I work with grease and brake cleaner, and that's what I do for a living. But I love to help people, and I love to let go of those things that'll come through me if I let them.
Yeah, that's just a stepping stone for you, that job.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. You know, and I'm trying to be grateful, because again, it's not about me. We always want to think everything's about me. But this was about the owner, Bill. I was brought there for him.
Yeah.
And I, you know, so now I've accepted that, and you know, just go from there. Now I believe something when the timing's right. I love to do this full time. I love love, right? And anytime I get a chance to express my faith and be an open conduit for love to come through, I get blessed. And I guess it's a kind of a selfish act in some ways.
Look, if the world could understand, you know how when you love someone and it's a beautiful feeling, when you fall in love with someone, if the world could understand the wisdom of love, then we would have peace.
Yes,
because how it makes you feel, it reacts to it. It's a chemical in your brain.
That's right.
So if everyone could experience that, we would have peace.
Yeah, and love really is not just a feeling; it's an action, right?
Yes.
Love is an action. You can't just say to someone, "I love you," though that's a beautiful thing to do.
Yeah.
You know, I say I love you, because There's this old meatball commercial back when I was like 5 or 6 on the TV, and I'd sit there with my mom, and the meatball would say, "I love this," you know, I love it. And that stuck with me because to me, that's my sincere way of telling you, I love you. I love you, because it's more than just one word. It's like a repeat, like I love you.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. I'll say I love you when I feel it to someone.
yes.
I don't just say it just to say it.
Right.
It's got meaning behind it.
That inspiration is so much more powerful. And like I said, to tell someone you love them, even if it is just to say, because you got nothing else, then that's all right. Do that and see what happens. See, a lot of people don't understand that being psychic, or what Christians would call prophetic, right? That's the Christian word for psychic, basically. To be empathic, to be intuitive, is you don't always get everything right up front. I might just get a word. And if I don't say that word to you, then I won't get the rest. To give you an example, I was standing in line at the grocery store, and there were some young ladies in front of me, and my wife was there, and I got the picture of like a Raggedy Ann doll, right? This Raggedy Ann doll. And somehow a conversation happened, and I was like, I don't know if this means anything to you, but I see a Raggedy Ann doll for you, and does that mean anything? You know, I asked them, yes or no, is that something that means something? If it doesn't, that's all right. Hey, I love you, bless you. And she almost started crying because she had one of those in her arms earlier, and it was God telling that young lady, I'm watching you, I'm with you, I'm right next to you, you're not alone. I'm so close to you that I was holding that doll with you.
Yeah. I just got chills.
I feel that right now. I feel something really powerful just come through. Someone needs to know. You need to know you are loved, and you are not alone, and you are not forsaken, and you can never do anything so horrible or say anything so bad that you could separate yourself from the love and acceptance of God. Okay? And be that in whatever form that you choose to think of God. If God is Jesus to you, then hallelujah. If God is, Buddha or whatever, I don't care. I'm not holding on to anything about that. That's your expression, and I bless that expression. But you just need to know you're loved. Don't sit there and say, nobody loves me, because I do. I love you, and I know you. And if you were to step towards your healing right now, you do a $35 reading, maybe you do it with another practitioner, step towards your healing. Make that commitment, not because you're buying your healing, right? Not because you're paying for it, but you're energetically releasing your faith to say, I am now in a place I can receive what's for me. Right now, you're doing that for you. The money, whatever you're paying, whoever you're paying, a lot of people having an idea that this should be free, and we give all kinds of. It is free. I'm not charging you for what I do. My wife doesn't charge you for what she does. That's a donation back to us in our lives. It's seeds in our lives. It's toilet paper. It'll hold COVID-19. That toilet paper. What? Everything's changed. You could have looked 2 months ago and went, toilet paper, whatever. But now it's a big deal. It's about willing to let go of what's in your hand for what's in my hand. It's willing to let go of what's in your heart for what's in my heart. So don't let just anybody speak into your life. That's another good point. Okay. All right. Don't just go willy-nilly and think, this person, what do you feel about that? Am I saying something that's a witness? Are you feeling inspired? Do you feel better? Do you feel worse? Maybe something I'm saying might be drawing something out and you're having an ab reaction. That's not necessarily a bad thing. Sometimes you have to throw up to feel better. That's no fun. I don't like that. But I didn't create this system. I only try to work within it. And you can either, Buddhism and Taoism, follow the path of least resistance. Find that place of simplicity. And do we complicate stuff? I can fix a lot of problems just by blowing this horn. What? Come on, Patrick. You're just going to blow a horn and I'm going to get better. Yeah, it could happen. That could happen. What else could happen? I mean, what can you imagine? What have you been imagining? Is everything you're thinking about yourself doom and gloom? Is everything you're thinking about in this world because you're just being bombarded by these forces that are manipulating the airways, that are, you hear about 5G and it lives in the blood of Christ. I can go anywhere, do anything that I want to do, that I need to do because of who I am. I am a king and I am a priest. Now, I'm not just a priest, I'm a high priest because God said so. I am that I am. You cannot deny that fact. Say it right now. Do you have any? I do. Yeah, we're doing all right on the TV. Thank you very much. We are blessed. Let's say that.
I'll have some too, please, eh?
So we can do a toilet paper prayer right now. I just loose all the toilet paper for you right now in Jesus' name.
You're only getting like 2 boxes of tissues at a time.
Come on. Hey, so you only, take a shower maybe. I don't know. I love the idea of the bidets, Come on.
Yeah, well, they're like $2,000 here, so I have to save up quite a bit.
Oh, yeah. So check this out. And this is not really a spiritual thing. It is and it isn't. But I'm a certified, first aid and CPR, right? It's just something that's happened through my life experience. I've done it many times. I just recently did it this last September. And I'm sitting outside the other day after I got home from work and having my lemonade and such, enjoying the sunshine. It was sunny out. And I hear all hell breaking loose next door on the other side of the fence. Something really bad is going down. They're screaming. They're talking about 911. They're a Hispanic family. And I just knew in my gut, I immediately had this feeling of terror. And I'm like, something's wrong. And they're talking 911. So I start through the house because I'm in the backyard. And they're to my left when I head to the front door. And I pass by Tony. And I'm like, something really bad's going on down next door. I'm going to go out and see what's going on. And so I go outside. And I see the neighbor across the way, this big black man. And he's like, I'm like, something's going on. He's like, yeah, my wife said to come out. Maybe someone's not breathing, a baby or something. And I round the garage because that's the side where the house is on. And the guy's like, someone know CPR because they called 911. Someone wasn't breathing. So I looked at the brother across the street. I'm like, I know CPR. Do you know CPR? He's like, yeah. I was like, let's do it. And we go into the house and we had to get the wife off the body. The guy was not breathing. He was blue. And got him positioned on the floor and started performing CPR. Got him breathing, and then he stopped. And then got him breathing, and he stopped. And then I was in the process again of that. He's foaming from the mouth, and all hell is breaking loose. And all of a sudden the police show up, and so we just get out of the way. And I had no idea what happened after that because we got out of the way so they could work. I went back home and kind of minded my own business, and he lived. He lived. They saved his life. And so the other day, there's a whole case of really nice 2 or 3 ply toilet paper and a whole case of paper towels sitting on our front porch from the next door neighbors.
Wow, that's good.
Isn't that awesome?
Yeah.
Bless his heart. And they didn't need to do that. Like I said, we don't do the stuff we do. A lot of people misinterpret the cost of receiving ministry as payment. No, you guys are donating to people's lives. You're donating to the cause, right? Mm-hmm. You're donating to the force. May the force be with you, right?
Yeah.
We are all, we're Jedi Knights. We're kings and we're priests. And we're all just trying to get this done. And if I can't go out and buy some water or buy myself food, then how am I supposed to talk to you? Because in 3 or 4 days, I'm just going to fade away unless I'm, going to live supernaturally or something. Yeah. So we need each other, man. We need each other. We all need each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, he also gave over a couple gift cards, bless his heart. And I told him I didn't want to receive that, you know, but God said no. He's doing what he thinks he should do because of what you did, and so
Someone's life.
yeah, just receive that, and you know, and that's one. It's beautiful, you know. It wasn't extravagant. It was just a blessing. It was just beautiful, and you know. So I say all that.
To have toilet paper today is a luxury. So you're very lucky.
We're blessed.
Who would ever thought toilet paper would be a luxury?
Yeah, no doubt. It's amazing how things can change. All the sporting events shut down. All gatherings, you know, my goodness. It's just no one would have thought that a couple months ago.
No.
You know.
You've gone to the end of your show. Would you like to keep going, or you have gone to the end? It's up to you.
Yeah, I'm good for now. Let's see. We got any questions or
so got 10 viewers. Does anyone want to ask anything? Does anyone want a reading? I'd love to see you do a reading.
Oh, well, hey, that's right. I'm going to pull 3 cards for you, Kat.
Oh, that's right. You said that. Thank you.
I forgot about that. And that will give you an idea.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And I felt that way because, you know, you're sacrificing. You're doing what you feel you need to do.
Yeah.
One on the bottom, just right upside. So we're just going to go off this. Just it's hard for me to read here. Let me find something really quick. I don't have a light. Yeah. My goodness. Sorry. Give me one moment.
Yeah, that's okay. Thank you for watching, everyone. This is Patrick, and I'm not going to attempt this other name. Look, Patrick.
Sozo. Yeah. You know how you say, how you doing? Sozo. Right. So Sozo. And really it's a Hebrew, that's actually a Greek word that means healing, wholeness, recovery, deliverance.
Yeah.
It's an Om, of course. You know what that means. So
Patrick Zozo.
So I'm gonna get my little light going here so I can see the cards because I can't see what I got here. All right. So the first card, this card was on the bottom, right side up. I've got the deck I'm using. Thank you. Is a Page of Pentacles. Okay, this is for you, sis.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can get it to where you can you read that?
It's the picture's beautiful. It's a cross with a circle around it.
Yeah. So the words say expand, physical, action, and commitment.
Yeah.
And so basically, if I can get that.
Oh yeah, I can see. I can sort of make out now what they say because you said them. Yeah.
So what does that mean to you? How do you apply this card to what's relevant to your life right now, Kat?
Was this pulled out as past, present, or future, or just one card?
This one is the bonus card. Happened to be on the bottom. That was, you know, how the deck is facing down, but for some reason this card was facing up on the very bottom of the deck. I didn't do it; it was just there, and I know spiritually that's a sign that we need to pay attention.
It does mean something to me.
So, Page of Pentacles, which the words are to expand.
Yeah, and I am doing that with the company. Yes.
Yeah, physical, right?
Yeah.
I'm not sure, you know, but I know action and commitment, and you're showing both of that. But you're showing up, right? You're performing the action of doing what you're doing, and you're showing the commitment of showing what you're doing. And God is really just saying, "Listen, I see you," and that's I see you. It's not going to go unnoticed. It's not unnoticed. All right. All right. So that's just a bonus. Because Holy Spirit is like that. There's always more than enough. Okay. Now I don't always experience that myself. Nobody does, but it's nice when it happens.
Yeah.
So now I'm gonna give it a shuffle here. I'm gonna get some room on my table here. And first card we're gonna do for you, Kat, will be the past. Okay. And something relevant to that. Now, as far as tarot goes, there are very, religious ways, right, of experience tarot, and I bless those. I am not that. I am more free radical when it comes to cards. I like to know and experience what the person is knowing and experiencing from the card that I give them. And of course, I get insight, but it's kind of vain for me to think that what I have to say is going to be more important than what you are experiencing from the card itself. So, for example, that first card there, you know what that means to you.
Yeah, I do.
You know. And the colors, okay? It's not just the words. Look at the colors.
The color's the color of my company too, purple.
See? No, that's amazing. And the sphere is the sign, right? The circle, it's infinite. It's infinite. That's your contract. That's a beautiful contract. You got the cross inside, and within that, the heart of hearts. You have, again, that never-ending light that's shining out of you, right?
Yes, and I wanted to say, while you're saying that, I just saw a beautiful comment from somebody says, yes, I'm very committed. Yes, that's true. So the cards never lie. And Wendy's got beautiful compliments from Wendy and somebody. Thank you.
Awesome.
And that card does relate to me.
Yes, play. That's I got a little light language too for you guys. That's another. You know, some light language I got was Bajunge, right? This is during prayer time. I got that in my mind, right? An imagination, a thought, Bajunge. I don't know what that means. I didn't know what it means. I know what it means now. But I just started praying that as part of my light language, you know. And then I got Yada, Bashunge, Yada. And I have a Hebrew brother who said, and I just happened to reach out and ask if anybody knows what this means. He said, yeah, that means high praises, Patrick. High praise. Yada Bashunge, right? And he inhabits the praises of his people, or, you know, is what they say. So to praise yourself, praise God. You know, it's not arrogant to praise yourself. Hey, you did really good, Patrick. You're doing really good. Oh, man, Patrick, you rock. You rock, Patrick, right? Kat, you rock. Okay, so here's a card for your past right here. And let me get my light. And let's see. Can I have a drum roll, please? No, just kidding. All right. All right. We have the 10 of Cups, family, delight, serenity, and fortune. So this has something to do with your past. Okay, Kat. There we go. Can you see that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, what does that mean to you? What are you willing to share that means to you from your past? I have a feeling that family, you know, something to do with your family, obviously, in your past, and the delight. There's some time where you were really in a time of delight and serenity, right? That peacefulness and fortune, right?
Yeah. The house I lived in, my family was haunted, and yeah, and I could just say I used to feel some amazing ghost energy there.
Okay.
I remember that brings me a nice feeling.
All right, so let's take that and let's go to your present now. We have 10 of Wands, and this is a really cool card. Very cool. Even though it talks about there's tired, there's laboring, there's workload. Boy, I think this is pretty relevant, right? There is obstacles, there's oppression, there's obedience right at the end. Okay, so you have the 10 of Wands. Okay, what are wands? They're an instrument of faith. They're an instrument of the spirit. 10 is the government, is a number for order. 10 could be the number for law. So, you know, and then you look at the first words, tired, and I got to read it myself.
You know what
makes laboring and workload. That's what you're experiencing because you're starting up, and then you're putting in a lot of time, and there's a lot of workload. So this is a very relevant card.
Yes.
And the fact that you're doing it spiritually, now you have two different portals going on there, and you have the one beneath, as above, so it is beneath. You know, I'm big on the Hermetic principles. I'm not sure if you're familiar with that. I've done a lot of research on Stoicism and Hermetic principles. And one of those principles is what it is above, so it is beneath.
Right.
And so there's some beautiful portals going on, both above and below going
Good.
on. And so that's what's going on right now. Things are cooking. And so now we're going to go ahead and take a card for your future.
When we finish this up, I'll send you a picture of a ghost in my room holding a spear.
Right. I'm all into that stuff. We do house. One of the things we do is house clearings and stuff like that.
Yeah, I've had 2 paranormal researchers say that it is a real ghost with a spear.
Oh yeah, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
So your future card for this 3-card pull is the 2 of Cups, and again, this is awesome. Connection, union, partner, sharing, lover, attraction. That's some good stuff coming up here, Kat.
Oh, that's good. I keep asking God who I like to be with.
2 of Cups.
I've lived like 30 odd years for God. Something's got to give.
Well, it looks like something's brewing. Right?
No, do you know what? I would keep going. I would give up my life for God in a heartbeat any day, and you know, just follow my path where I'm meant to be.
That's
but
right.
if love's coming and it's, you know, pure love, I won't say no.
Well, that's what's happening. So in the near future, you're going to have connection, which you're already experiencing, but there's going to be some connection. And if I were to start speaking, you know, intuitively right now, you know, that has something to do, yeah, like you said, with relationship. I think you just answered. I think your spirit's already onto that. Excuse me, I gotta take a drink of it.
Hi, Nancy and Kat. Do you want? What did Wendy say? Kat, do you want it now? What love? I don't think God's ready to give me love yet. I've still got more work to do. I believe, you know what I think, Patrick? I believe that in life you have to find your own path to actually find the right person to be with. You have to be on that path to find the right path. So
you still find people. You find all kinds of people, you know, that may be not gelling the same way.
Yeah.
You know, on the same path, like you said.
I'm on the right path. I'm on the right path. I just have more things to do before I meet someone. If you're on the wrong path, you're going to be attracted to the wrong people.
Yeah, right, exactly. But let me correct you on one thing here, because you're setting the standard and what's coming out of your mouth, and you're saying, it ain't time yet, blah blah blah. Right? It's like, hey, I got a lot to do. I got blah blah blah.
Go anywhere.
Stop it.
My life is virtual.
Oh yeah, but just say this then. Just say this. I'm open. You know, if you want to send someone to absolutely wreck my life in the most beautiful way possible, then I receive that. And until then, I'm gonna keep up doing what I'm doing. But I'm open to that. I do not believe that it's not possible right now. I believe it's, in fact, stay away from negative words. And this goes for everybody, and myself included. When you're trying to express something in prayer or meditation, listen to what you're saying. You don't want to say, I don't want. All the universe hears is one. You know, so I don't want a headache. You're gonna get a headache. What the hell? Just say, this is what you want to do. The same prayer, you say, I will experience healing. I will experience no pain. You know, don't even go there, because I will experience wholeness. Stay away from the word pain. You know, stay away from the word trouble. Stay away from whatever it is you don't want to experience, and find another way of expressing that articulation, to be able to articulate it in just a beautiful and positive way. You right?
Yes, there is someone I like, but he lives halfway across the world. So it is very hard to love someone that the way you want to if they're halfway across the world.
Sure. But you know, I mean, 2 months ago, we didn't think toilet paper would be so famous. So.
I know it is, isn't it?
I mean, things can change so quickly, and giving stuff the ability, giving life permission to happen a way that you're not in control of, right? You know, give God permission to do something, and then get your hands off of it. Yeah, just let it happen. Some things we have to work towards. You got to show up, do lives. You got to, you got to prepare. I'm not saying don't do that stuff, but also be careful on how you limit that stuff. What's coming out of your mouth? Well, yeah, my business can be this big, but I'll never be that big, right? Well, no, of course not, because you just told yourself you'll never be that big. What, you thinking someone's going to come on and argue with you? Oh, yeah, we want you. I'm going to have a storefront that's a skyscraper, right? Yeah, no, that ain't going to happen. I got a little 1,100 square foot office. That's great. That's all I'll ever be. That's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But if you want a skyscraper, that's okay too. You know, that's not bad.
Patrick, I want a jet. I want a Learjet. How can you help me get a Learjet?
What?
A Learjet.
Oh, Learjet. Oh, say I'll have my Learjet now, please.
Really?
Right? I mean, it's not up to you how you get it. I mean, I received my Learjet. I mean, I'm waiting. I don't even say I'm waiting. Don't say that. I received my Learjet. It's just reaffirm that. Reaffirm that. Now, consciously, you're going to be thinking, how the hell am I going to buy a Learjet? But that's not the problem. You know, the fact is you're just saying I'll receive my Learjet. Now, maybe you'll come up with more things to affirm that will start leading to that Learjet, and maybe someone will just come up and give you a Learjet. But you know, good luck buying the fuel for that, because that's like $10,000 to fill up the gas tank. But that doesn't mean you can't have a Learjet. It just, you know, we're always trying to understand. We got to know how it's working. How is it going to happen? You know, I've worked with people in ministries or organizations, and they have to have X, Y, Z before they move. And guess what? An act of faith doesn't happen like that. An act of faith, you walk, and then something else happens, and then you take the next step, and then that happens, and it's scary as hell, and you're never in control. And it's so wild. Why does it work like that?
Look, the reason I want a Learjet, first of all, I want to one day have a paranormal research team, and I want to one day, when I'm very rich, I want to be able to build housing for the homeless and re-educate them to work again and get their own place. So I want to be able to have that jet to be able to go around the world and have that happen. Yeah,
and you want to take those ideas and you want to make sure you're documenting them for yourself, and you want to make sure that your focus, maybe do like a board for yourself, a prayer board or a vision board. Those are very powerful, vision boards, and cut pictures out that represent. Cut a Learjet out, and maybe get your favorite color of construction paper or something for a background for a poster, and then put that Learjet on there, and then cut out some beautiful apartment style stuff for homeless people, or whatever you're envisioning, something that articulates your vision for the homeless, and you put that on your vision board, and then you put that, every little thing that you can think of that will help stimulate your ability to imagine yourself being where you want to be, and then look at that board, and like the type of house you want, a castle, I heard. Well, get yourself a picture of the exact castle you want. Be specific. You want a car, put a picture of that car. Let me tell you, I've done this, and I've actually moved in to the place that I drew, or that I had on the piece of paper. I actually cut out a picture of the place we ended up moving to 9 months later. I kid you not. And there's another key right there. Everything's in seasons and cycles, man. Birth, you don't have sex and intimate experience with someone, and then a baby pops out, like right there. You know what I mean? Good thing. That'd be scary. Oh, that was great. Boom. Oh my God, what the heck?
There'd be babies everywhere.
Right. It takes 9 months. God has used 9 months in my life the number 9 over and over again. Man, I wish it was 9 days. Who interjected the month thing? Why can't we get in like a 9-day or a 9-hour cycle, a 9-minute cycle? I mean, I want stuff right now, right? But a vision board is one of those ways of accomplishing it. You know, it's a life coaching technique. It's a business coaching technique. You want your business to grow, then put down on that vision board. Listen, I want to be available to the whole world. So put a picture of the world on there with your logo over the world.
Yeah, and I want to start. Yeah, and I want to start one day animal Medicare for the world.
Right. You know, and basically another term for a vision board would be a sigil. Now, I'm not sure if you're familiar with sigils, but it's what they use in white magic, dark magic, all those things. It's just a prayer. It's an articulated prayer, and along with ceremony and such. So a vision board is a way of articulating your faith. It's a way of articulating what you expect and what you hope for. Because again, faith is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things that you haven't seen yet. You haven't seen that. And if you already seen it, then you don't need no faith because it's right there. All you got to do is walk up to it. If you ain't walking up to it, then you're just stupid.
I have started a Facebook page about veterinary neglect because I took my dog there one day.
Okay.
And, they told me in the consult he had an ear infection and I left without getting the ear drops. So I went back to get the ear drops and they were going to charge me for another consult. So I told them to go out for themselves, and I don't usually text people like that because they said they were going to leave my dog like that. Now, I had the money for the medicine, but they wouldn't give it to me without the consult, but I just had it 2 hours previously. So I stood my ground. I went to another vet and paid for another consult and got the medicine that day. Yeah. But I thought it was disgusting that they did that, and I think animals should have more rights, and there should be some kind of Medicare system for animals. Why just people? Animals need Medicare too, because a lot of low-income people have animals.
Yeah, they do. They actually have insurance for animals. I heard a radio ad the other day.
But there should be Medicare where people don't have that and can't afford that.
Right.
Each month, that insurance.
One of the things you can do, Kat, too, is pray over your animal. You know, they're very receiving because they really don't have an opinion. They don't have any self-doubt. They don't have any self-recollection to the point that they doubt that you love them and that you would, you know, there's nothing going to get in the way. If you really believe you can energetically affect your animal in a positive way, guess what? You can. It's that simple. You know, power, the most powerful power there is love. There's nothing else.
Yeah.
Nothing else.
Sorry, but I love animals, and I would hate to see any animals turned away from a vet over money, over $50.
Yeah. But you know, Kat. So you just forgive them, right? Because that left the landing.
Back in there, though, because I told them to go with themselves.
Yeah, certainly. But now you just go back and you do that work. You release them. You just don't harbor anything. You just let them go because you can't control their way. I totally understand what you're talking about there, and that's very upsetting. You know.
I was crying. I didn't want my dog to have that pain, and they didn't understand that.
Right.
So I don't think that's fair. So that's why I made the Facebook page, and I want to get 1 million people on the page. I want to get a petition. I want to get over 1 million people, and I want to take it to government, to someone, and try and apply for Medicare for animals. I think that they deserve it.
Yeah, and you should walk towards that, and that's something you could put on your vision board, you know, or maybe make a separate vision board. You know, sometimes you need to keep some information in its own category so that you're not diluting it, right?
Yeah, I know.
So when you're talking about getting Medicare for animals, that is a very important thing, and it's I think that's a great idea. I mean, to me, it's like kind of like a no-brainer, you know, especially for the lower income people, you know, kind of thing. Yeah, and But you don't want to mix that when you're trying to manifest that with, let's say, getting a castle or something, right? So you want to make sure that when you're meditating or focusing on that's what you're focusing on. And when you're done, you're done. You know, and it doesn't have to be a long period of time either. You can take 5-10 minutes and accomplish a lot, because what you're doing is releasing a vibration, because your thoughts, and stuff, and that's just going to go out and do what it does, you know.
Yeah, I hope it all happens. Oh, Tony's saying symbols. What does she mean?
Yeah, the symbols. she's good. You know, there's a lot of different symbols. She's probably speaking about the Hebrew symbols, like Hashem and Tav and Nun and these different things. You can use those over your animals too. You can draw in the air, you know, Shefa, Reiki. A lot of express energetic work like that is done through the use of manipulating, you know, the air, you know, and placing those symbols as if you were writing on a board into the atmosphere around you. And they're very powerful. It changes the vibration of the room, you know.
Yeah, for sure. Wendy's saying she's all in with the animals. That's good. Another supporter.
Think about it. They're just beings just like us. They're just in a different place. I mean, you know, reincarnation, as far as I'm concerned, is real. I'm not so sure that we reincarnate as animals or not. It's definitely a possibility. You know, I can't say for sure on anything except what I know and what I've experienced. But I think there's an honor when you honor other beings, be it insects, animals, and the like, you know, but it shouldn't be placed above anything else. I mean, we go wrong when we place one thing above another. So, but if we bring alongside and we honor them for their existence and for who they are and what they are, and there's a lot of power in that. You know, there's a lot of love in that. I mean, an ant is no less significant necessarily in this universe than me or you, you know, but we don't think of an ant as, you know, gosh, there's a whole colony here, they're eating my stuff, or I've just got bitten or whatever. Just to use an example as another being, you know, that is another being. You know, I don't understand that being, but it still exists, you know. And so like dogs who happen to be companions, cats, I got a cat and a dog. I love them both very much.
Well, dogs are very special because they're spelled like God reverse.
Yeah. You know, you can hear them. Yeah, we can talk to our animals and they can talk back. You need to be aware of that, you know, and it's really cool. So
yeah, whenever you want to end your show, let us know because we're all loving listening to you. So you just let me know.
Oh yeah, that's fine. I got okay, now I understand what she talked about, the symbols, the sigils. Sigils. Okay, so to give you an example how to create a sigil, okay, this is sigil 101. And it's a prayer, okay? It's a prayer that you're writing down that no one else can understand, okay? And so you take a piece of paper and let's say you write out your prayer. And again, nothing negative in the words. And you know, stop doing the, you know, no negative, no stop, no no's, nothing like that in your prayer. And now, granted, there's people that would claim the opposite, and you know, they're going to get what they got. But in this example, we'll say we write down, I have more money in my life. Let's just use that, right? I have more money. You write that on a piece of paper. Let me do this. I'm going to do this with you really quick because this can help manifest stuff in a positive way. If I can find my pen. Oh no.
I know some people write things and put them in the freezer. I've never done it, but people do
here
that.
we go. So let's take this. And I'm using the word I have because you're using a present tense word. Okay. So I have enough, or more. I have more than enough money. Okay, so I'm going to show you that. I wrote that on the piece of paper. Let's see if you can see that. I have more than enough money.
Yeah, I can see it.
Okay. So I'm going to take one letter. You know, some people drop out all the vowels and stuff, but it doesn't really, you know, that's fine. So we're going to take the first letter in each one of those words, and we're going to create a design. Okay, so I'm going to tell you what. I'm going to start out with the I. So this will be my sigil. So I have the I, right? So here we have the I.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Now I'm going to take the H. You see what all right. See how I connected them?
Oh, yeah.
They're different. I'm just, I mean, get as artistic as you want about it. I'm just going basic English looking. You know, you could use other languages. You could use Hebrew symbols. But so there's that. Now I'm going to use the M. And I'm just going to finish this real quick. Now you guys kind of understand what I'm doing. And I'll show you the finished product. And then I'll talk about that.
Wendy, I'll just quickly say, Wendy's just saying why dog is spelled backwards, and it's spelled backwards as God, because dog is man's best friend, and I think God has made a dog spelled backwards his name, because dogs look, they can cure depression. If you're lonely, they take the loneliness away. Dogs and cats and all animals are very, very special, but dogs especially are man's best friend, and you know. That's the reason. I think there's a reason why God called them dogs, but backwards God. Sorry, Patrick.
No, it could be. Could have something to do with the Greek and stuff too. So I took that phrase and I made that symbol.
Wow.
Okay. Now there's no wrong way of doing it. I just connected them a certain way. I didn't put a lot of thought into it. You can when it comes to sigils, you can look at what time it is. You can look at what, time of day you're doing it. You can look at the moon cycle. There's a lot of different energetic things that you can take into account. But if you just want to write down a prayer, now I will take this and I will cut it out, fold it up, and perhaps I'll wait until the full moon or something to that degree, and I'll bring it out in the moon and I'll burn it. But or I'll take it tonight and I'll burn it and put the ashes in a pouch for an amulet. Okay. Yeah. Or you can just fold it up and put it in an amulet. That's kind of thing. For put it in similar to my pendulum. You could got these devices where you could put your sigils in. Again, it's just another form of prayer. Okay.
It looks like a house with I saw a house with an antenna.
Yeah, so let me explain. I did the eye, right? And let me get over here where you can see it. Let me put this down, and we're here. Okay, so obviously the eye is a given. H. So you don't have to go from right to left like you wrote it. I just happened to do this. But then into the M. Where am I? Into the M for more.
Okay.
And then you have the T. Then the E. Enough. And then I did the M for money upside down to kind of create a space, and maybe it looks like a waveform or something like that, right? Have you ever seen a waveform on a computer programming device, like a recording software?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, it comes similar. It comes out like that. But anyway, regardless of the fact, I just did it and I did the E back, E kind of weird too. And it doesn't matter. Like I said, there's no wrong way. But if someone else looks at this, they won't know what I'm doing. They won't know what it's about. They'll never know. That's my personal prayer. For I have more than enough money.
I see a house that you're living in is going to be grounded house, and there's an antenna. It is going to bring money.
There you go. All right. See, and all that. See, that's interpreted. That's a prophetic interpretation or intuitive interpretation. But it's just that simple. So you can take any phrase and just take the time to articulate yourself where there's no negatives, no nots, no no's, that kind of stuff. And then you take that and create a piece of art. And you can even, I have some black construction paper and I have silver writing and gold pen, gold ink. And I've done that too. And that's a real pretty way of displaying your faith, It's just a way of...
Sorry, I was just going to say everyone will see a different picture to what I saw in it, but I just saw ground. That's just, I don't know who I'm reading. Maybe I'm reading you, Patrick, but I just saw a house like the antennas up to bring money.
That's good. I received that.
Yeah.
And that's something when you're getting a reading, receiving, you already know this, Kat, I'm sure, and a lot of people do, but some people don't. you need to take the time to consciously receive what you just heard, or not receive it. Because guess what? If it's something that does not bear a witness, if you don't feel an energetic response in you that's positive, right? If someone gives you a reading, be it cards or otherwise, and you feel that has nothing to do with you, because like you said, you don't know if you're picking me up or someone else. I believe you're picking me up. I think you're right. But I received that. But guess what? So could Samadhi, and so could Tamarin. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. You know what I'm saying? They could receive that too, and have just as much power from that as I did, and as I have, and as I receive from what you declared. You understand? Does that make sense? Yeah, you can hear someone else's reading and go, wow, that I received that, you know, and guess what? You did. You do, you know.
I feel that, like, and there's like an antenna at the bottom, like it's like the magician. You've got the tools there to do it. The antenna's up there. God can hear, you know, and I feel that there's money. The antenna is going to attract money from now. Like, you've just drawn a prediction of your future, of your life.
Amen. I receive that. Absolutely. And that's the thing, is we accidentally do these kinds of stuff all the time, but it's making ourselves available. If we didn't continue this conversation and go down this road, and Tony didn't bring up sigils and symbols, I would have never received that word right there. And I would not receive the faith that comes from hearing that word, because faith comes from hearing, and hearing a word from God. And since you are a God, Kat, and I am a God, and Wendy and Samadhi and Tamarin and Priscilla, and we're just a gathering of gods. That's all. That's awesome.
Excuse me. Yeah, no, that I really like that. I'm gonna do one of them myself.
Yes, I highly recommend it. And you know what? You can't do it wrong. So don't even think of that while you're fabricating it, while you're putting it together. There's no wrong. Oh, did I do it? Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. What matters is that the intent is positive, and that and you know, and you articulate it specifically. You know, more specifics. If you want it, while you're doing it, you're listening to high vibrational music, or to, you know, whatever inspires you. Like you said, talking about rock and roll. If there's a rock and roll song that really gets you energetically going, then you want to be listening to that song while you're putting together your sigil, right? If there's a scent, a smell, olfactory, right? It's called the sense of smell, olfactory. If there's a sense of smell, if there's a smell that inspires you, you need to have that incense burning while you're putting together that sigil. And you need to have that song playing while you're putting together that prayer, because all it is a prayer. Don't be afraid of those things that make you feel good, unless, you know, you got to look at the fruit, and you need to bring those and incorporate those. Those are tools. Those are for you to use. Don't sit there and think, I can't do that. I shouldn't do that. That makes me feel too good. You know, I mean, I'm listening to that song. I can't listen to that song and pray. You know, that's a rock and roll song, but that song makes me feel so good. You want to feel good when you're praying. You know, you want to feel good. You want to smell. You want to have that experience, the fullness of glory, right? The glory, man. I've experienced times when the spirit comes in so strong, and I can smell the honeysuckle, and I can smell frankincense and myrrh, and I can smell flowers and the aroma of beauty. You know, just beauty. You know.
Yeah. Oh, that was amazing.
Well, hey. Anyway, this has been awesome. I hope you guys enjoy it. You can reach me through the online psychic live.
Yeah, the link is above the video stream in the description there.
That's right. And we can do some sound therapy. I can do hypnotherapy. I'm a transpersonal hypnotherapist. I'm certified. I can do it internationally. I went to a school called Southwest Institute of Healing Arts. I'm a certified transpersonal hypnotherapist. I'm a life coach, business coach. I'm a Shefa master. I'm a Reiki master. Meaning, when I say master, I'm not saying like, I'm a master. I'm saying I got my head around it enough that I can be effective, right? And I can release that kind of faith on your behalf. I'm an empath. there's a lot of different stuff that can happen in a session, you know. So
very interesting show.
you got to step. You got to make the move. You can't sit where you're at and expect everything to change. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and over and expecting a different result. That's not going to happen, man. You have to look at what's going on in your life, and you have to say, all right, I've done this 1,000 times and I keep getting the same thing. I'm going to do it one more time. Maybe it's the next one. No, you're done. You did it. You realized, hey, have the revelation, accept the revelation. That's not working, and do something different. It can be anything. Like going to fix golf carts is not my idea of pursuing my spiritual highest self. Yeah, that's turning out to be probably one of the biggest and best moves I've done, and it's a stepping stone to the next spot, but it's out of obedience. Remember that line on your card. We'll go back to your future card and the Two of Cups, and where is it here? I can't read. Oh, it's on the cup on your, anyway, I'm sorry, I'm getting off on a tangent, Kat. I'm getting a little drunk in the spirit is what's happening. I'm getting a little drunk in the spirit, a little stoned in the spirit.
When are you going to be on again? Because I know everyone's going to want to see you again. And
well, I'd like to go definitely again next Saturday, and I can certainly go again more. Maybe we'll work out a time during the week. Maybe I'll go on a couple of times a week.
That'd be awesome, because I know even new viewers that come in are going to love you.
Oh, I'm glad. I hope so. And remember, the point is you. You are the point. If you're watching this, you're the point. You are loved, and you know, you still have things you need to do. So you need to get off your hands and do it, and make that commitment to yourself, and know that you're only as strong as your weakest thought you have toward yourself. So start. Maybe you have to write down, how do I think about myself? You know, am I really the rock star that I tell everybody else I am, or do I, feel like I'm not enough? And then you need to come against that, and you need to change the way you think. Just change the way you think, change what you're listening to, change, whatever it needs to be. Be open to change. Don't think that you're going to continue to do the same thing and win the lottery. Okay? Now that does happen, but that's not the standard. And I'll tell you what the standard is. The standard is start walking towards your wholeness, and your wholeness will start walking towards you. And that will involve ultimately opening yourself up and being available to other people. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You're here for someone else. It's not all about you. But until you do the inner work, and you really acknowledge that I need you, Kat, and you need me, and I need Tony, and I need Richard. Hey, Richard. And I need Tamarind, and Tamarind needs me, right? We need each other. We're one, and we're here to just love each other and help each other along the way.
Such true words. Words from an apostle.
Oh my goodness. My boss calls me Jesus Christ all the time, but I don't think he means it that way. Like, Jesus Christ.
So we'll just call you Jesus. We don't have Jesus yet.
You funny. Jesus is like, man, I'm gonna hit him with that lightning. I swear to God. Anyway, so hey, I hope you all have a wonderful and beautiful the rest of your day.
Yeah.
Remember, I like a brother says this on his channel: be the change you want to see, man. Yeah. Stop expecting everybody else to be that change. You do it. If you see the carts, a little thing that bothers me, someone don't put their cart away at the grocery store, put it away for them, man. I mean, that's okay. You just bless someone, when you
don't put a cart away, it does feel, I've done it, and it does feel wrong.
Yeah. Come on. There's cart angels. I swear to God, there's cart angels. Like, put the cart away, put the cart away. And there's people out there saying, no, I'm not doing it. And that's okay, because that's where they're at. So and that's an allegory. It's a story. It doesn't necessarily mean we're talking about carts here, people. We're talking about deeper and hidden occultish things, those things that are hidden. And it's an allegory to being willing to be the change for someone else. Man, if someone's down and I see that at the grocery store and the timing is appropriate, you don't just walk up the sign. You know, timing has everything. You could say the right thing at the wrong time and it'll do nothing. Okay, it'll do nothing. It might even make things worse.
Yeah.
But if you're paying attention and you feel that unction, that excitement, that anticipation, you get a tingling in your being, and you know that you just need to smile at this person that's coming up to you, even though they look like hell warmed over, and you smile at them, and that just might change their whole day. And you may have saved a person's life. I had no idea that taking a CPR class, of course I took it many times before, but just like 9 months ago, and I would end up saving my next door neighbor's life. I didn't know that was going to happen.
So you do everything for a reason in life. Everything.
Yeah, everything, all the little pieces and puzzles, you know.
It's all a big puzzle.
All right. Well, you be blessed. I know I am. I really got blessed by today, and I thank you guys for showing up, and I thank you for participating and for posting, and I hope you tell your friends. Listen, there's good things coming. Don't worry, man. Worry doesn't add a thing. Man, worry doesn't add a thing.
It doesn't, and there is good things coming for the world. So thank you very much for your show.
Hey, I love you guys.
And
all right.
See Patrick Zozo. Is that how you say it?
That's right. Zozo.
Zozo.
Yeah.
This is so called maybe.
Zozo. Zozo.
But yeah, thank you, and thank you everyone for watching. And we will see you soon. Everyone.
Shalom.
Bye bye.